Hello everyone, this is Idea Master here, and today we're going to be doing a a new dungeon and a new map of the Dungeon Hunter series. So let's go ahead and give ourselves a nice little ship after we collect this money. There we go. Also in the last video I talked about unlocking different characters. And to answer anyone's question, yes, I did unlock, just a sec. I'm trying to see if trying to see which, okay. Alright, I think it's that one I haven't seen yet. But I did unlock frickin' Squarefoot. I did find that there's a couple other characters that I do need to unlock. In fact, there's a couple others that I have no idea how to unlock them, but besides those, I have unlocked pretty much every special character. Like special as in like beast character and stuff like that. I haven't unlocked the Minotaur yet, but that's what I'm trying to do with the Dungeon Hunter series. So let's hope for the best, and I'll see you guys there. Alright, there we go. Well, let's see how this dungeon goes. I hope to God I get a Minotaur in here. If I don't, this is gonna suck. Cause I checked the other dungeon. Like I was on top of it checking for any mini-map character NPC marks, and I wasn't finding any Minotaur icons. So I have a bad feeling we might not have any Minotaurs on this map, which really sucks beyond all belief, because I really wanted to unlock a Minotaur. But anyway, enough about that. Let's go ahead and see what we can do about this dungeon here. Let's take out a better light source too. Oh, what the heck? Okay, so I don't know, I don't think you guys can see right now, because the lantern is being really stupid. I don't get why it does this. But I wanted to talk anyway. There we go. I wanted to talk about, my gaming preferences. There's a reason why I have a very limited amount of games played on this channel. And it's mostly frickin' fire. They need to fix that. And it's mostly because of my pickiness. I'm very picky when it comes to games. Like, I wouldn't say I'm very, very picky, but it's kind of like a weird... How should I put this? Okay. So for any of you who aren't complete vacuums, when it comes to food, like, you know, when you get asked like what your favorite food is, or should I eat this, and you don't know, it's kind of like how I feel, how there's so much, like, so many different types of foods out there, but I don't know what I want exactly. Because there's just so many preferences that I have. Like, for instance, there's some games that I play for fun, and there's other games that I just play seriously because I want to. And then there's other games where I want to play for fun and serious. And then there's the very tiny amount of games that I play for a challenge. Now, the thing is that a lot, and I mean a lot of games nowadays, are more focusing on the challenging aspects. And I know I can't say that for all games. I know it's definitely kind of like a biased thing to just say that all in general. But I played a lot of games, a lot of the new games nowadays, and it seems to me that they're trying to focus on the whole difficulty aspect because of Cuphead and Dark Souls, how so many people have been liking the difficulty. But the issue though is I don't know if there's other people like me. It's really hard to know. But you got people like me who don't necessarily play the games for the challenge. Like, for instance, here's a good example. I've played Dark Souls before. I played Dark Souls 2, I believe. And I know it's kind of like the weird middle child of the series, and I know how it's not necessarily something. How should I put this? Not necessarily always like it's a part of the main series. It's just I can't remember if it wasn't like made by the same director. But anyway, I don't care. The point is I played it and I really liked it at first. Dark Souls is by far a really good series, and I was very impressed by the game. But there was an aspect about it that made me not want to play it, and that was the difficulty aspect. I know how some of the hardcore Dark Souls players are like, well, it's not actually difficult, you just gotta get around the system and stuff like that. And my feelings toward that is I played a lot of video games in my days. I know how to get used to systems really quick. I'm extremely easily adaptive to video games. Just because I'm not good at them does not mean that I'm not, you know, at least somewhat adaptive to it. But anyway, so I tried playing it. I wasn't bad. I had a lot of nice parts in it. But the one thing that held me back was the difficulty. I don't know what it is, but I couldn't play the game. Like, I think I made it to like a certain part where I had to fight this big armored guy in front of a whole bunch of graves, I think, and this weird dead guy was throwing explosives at me, and it was really irritating because I couldn't kill the guy, and I also had to focus on the explosives. I don't think I rage quit from that part exactly, but it's kind of like the parts of having to like keep on repeating that. But I believe that the game does focus on difficulty. It's not the main focus of the game, but that's what it felt like to me. And if a game ever feels like one of the main focuses is difficulty, then I probably won't play it. And it's sad because Dark Souls is a really well-made game. Everything about it I love, besides the difficulty and the whole repeating lives thing. But the repeating lives thing is actually kind of cool anyway. I like how they did it. But that was the only thing holding me back, was the difficulty. Because I'd get to certain parts and then I just didn't want to play it. And I know that's like kind of weird because most channels that talk about this type of stuff almost always say, I got past the whole scheme and I got past this and that, and you know, just took a lot of determination and focus. But for me, whenever something is focusing on the challenge, I start to get unmotivated. It's really weird. I'm still to this day I'm trying to figure out why I get that way, but it's just kind of how I felt. And because of that, it's hard to find games that where the heck do I go? It's hard to find games that I want to play, but at the same time I have a hard time playing it because of the difficulty. And so, as I was talking about before, I feel like games nowadays have been focusing on the difficulty aspect to cater to the people who really like a challenge. It's just, I'm not that type of person. I never have been. The games that I played throughout my childhood were not supposed to be challenging. Like, okay, for instance, one of the main games that I used to play were Sonic the Hedgehog. I think that was my first video game I ever played, and that was on the Sega Genesis. And then the second game I believe that I played was the GameCube games. Which I think was Pac-Man World 2, which that wasn't supposed to be hard. Sonic was somewhat supposed to be hard, but it felt more fun to me even when I did die, which is also an aspect that I like talking about. But Pac-Man World 2 is definitely, like, there was a lot of challenging aspects to it. But it didn't feel so challenging to the point to where I didn't want to play anymore. I mean, okay, there was actually some parts where it was like that, but it wasn't something that I felt like I didn't want to overcome later. And then later on I started playing the Lego games, which is where a lot of my love for Lego Worlds comes from. I believe my first Lego game that I ever played was what was it? I think it was like either the Lego Indiana Jones Classic, or it was Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga. It was one of those two. Both games I do adore quite well. But Lego Indiana Jones was a huge part of my childhood, and I loved every bit of it because it wasn't too challenging, and it was mostly made for, you know, kids at my age at that time, and it was something that I could definitely relate to and have fun with. Now the issue is that I couldn't find any other game like it. I'm trying to think here. Some other games. They're supposed to be challenging. I'll think of it later, but a game that I play a lot now, or a game that I played a lot for years now actually, is a game called Warframe. I've played it a couple times in this channel, and in fact I'm even planning a weekly play on it. But Warframe is one of those games where, yes, there's a lot of challenging parts to it, but it makes you feel kind of like overpowered. So it's actually a lot of fun sometimes. And I know games shouldn't always do that, but it's just something I loved. Now, it doesn't go to say that I don't like the games that don't make you feel overpowered. Like, for instance, a little game called Gothic. Like Gothic 1, 2, and 3. And then Elix, like any Piranha Bytes games at all. They do a fantastic job with your character just being like literally a stick in the mud. You can't do much of anything with them, and you have to do everything. Trying to think here. There are games like those where I actually don't mind playing. Here we go. Alright. Let's go ahead and Let's take out something different this time. What? What was that? How did he hit me once? How? These guys don't have that much damage. I don't get it. Okay, that's irritating. Anyway, what was I doing? I was talking about video games. I know that. Difficulty. But I don't know. It really depends on the game. Certain games I love for the difficulty, and other games I can't stand them. Oh, yeah, there we go. That's what I was thinking of. Call of Duty. That's a weird one. That was a big part of my childhood. I like RPGs, but there's so many RPGs that I wanted to get into, but I couldn't because they're all turn-based, and I can't stand turn-based. I like being able to control my character at all times, and being able to control the battlefield without having to wait for the opponent to attack me and then realize I'm completely screwed because I can't run away. But freaking, I had a huge thing for Call of Duty, and I know it's one of those first-person shooter type games where they purposely make it for noobs and purposely make it for people who, God, should I say, people who aren't as good in first-person shooters as others. But I think that's probably why I liked it the most, is because it gave me the ability to kill other people, and that was everything to me. Because almost any other game that I would play, I was I just wasn't good at it at all. The only game that I was actually good at that I could kill other players on was that was it. Because I tried Super Smash Brothers, but I can only defeat my friends, and that's about it. Every time I go online, I just feel like pulling out my hair. Because it's always just way too hard. I don't know. Difficulty is a weird thing with me. And I just want to share about it. I hope you guys didn't get irritated how I decided to do something different this time, but it's just a certain aspect in my life that I've always found weird. Let's go ahead and go back to the rocket. Especially like freaking, trying to think here. What other games? Besides Dark Souls. Oh yeah, there's a little game called Chasm that I adore because it's like a Castlevania Metroidvania type of deal. But I can only play so much of it because of the difficulty. I don't know, tell me on how you guys think about difficulty. It's always such like a weird thing. If you guys want to know about the type of games that I definitely like, even if it is kind of a weird thing with me where I can't figure out what I like, because I'm not able to understand my feelings as well as other people can, due to some problems. But the games that I definitely like playing are some Lego games. I don't like playing the new day Lego games because I feel like they're extremely, I don't know, I just don't like them. I don't like all the fetch quests and stuff. But I love a lot of the old Lego games. I love what do you call it? Freaking Warframe, obviously. The older Call of Duties. This game, obviously. Freaking, I don't know. I have a very specific taste. I am waiting for a couple games. I'm waiting for Biomutant. I'm waiting for Outward. Waiting for a whole bunch of other ones. I'm really wanting Biomutant because I'm really into martial arts, and it's I can't wait to see what they put into it. I really, really want to see what weapons they put into Outward and freaking Biomutant. Because the thing about me is that I'm really... I can actually get really specific to games if it comes to weapons. Like, for instance, not Dark Souls, but Skyrim. I have a hard time playing Skyrim nowadays because I feel like the weapons are really lackluster. Nowadays, genres are really specified on swords and shields and axes and like big swords. But I want more variety. I've always loved variety, and when it comes to freaking just medieval games or RPG games or fantasy or stuff like that, and all in general, I want my own weapon. I want the weapons that I love the most. The issue is that no game has ever been able to reach my specifics. So I'm really hoping Biomutant does something for that on me. It's already looking like something I'll definitely get. Freaking... Anyway, I've been rambling on for too much. I gotta end the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, anything would be beautiful. Talk about what I talked about. Comment about something I can improve on. I'm happy just to talk to you guys in general. Thank you all for watching. I adore you all. Visit my social media. Visit my Patreon. And I'll see you guys. Gosh dang, I hate it when I get like this. I'll see you guys next video. Thank you for watching.